For the past year or so, we've been telling you about serious staff shortages at Maine's jails and prisons, shortages that are not only affecting the guards, but also the inmates they're in charge of.
Right now, the Cumberland County Jail says it's operating at barely 40% staffing levels. In York County, the jail had to pause programs and family visits for inmates over the summer. Then there's the Long Creek Youth Development Center in South Portland, Maine's only facility for holding juveniles. It's able to house more than 160 clients, but right now there are only 27 beds filled. It's facing a staffing shortage as well. And
documents show that Long Creek is using housing that's meant for young women as a sleeping area for some employees so they can be well rested between shifts. News Center Maine's Jack Molman has been looking into this for us. Jack, what have you found?
Pat and Amanda, nearly 2 years ago, Long Creek Youth Development Center built a collection of housing units. Long Creek has said repeatedly these housing units are supposed to be for females as a way to transition them away from life in a cell. But as of this year, public data from the jail shows no girls have stayed there. I spoke with a former employee of Long Creek who said while no girls stayed there, Long Creek allowed them to live in one of those units from July 13th to August 25th. And he tells me other employees were using the house to sleep between working upwards of 16-hour shifts during staffing shortages.
Today is August 25, 2022.
This is cell phone video from former Long Creek employee Christian Palomino, right after he was fired from the prison and, according to his personnel file, escorted off the property.
But this facility is a joke.
The prison says in the file about Palomino that once Palomino found out Long Creek was supposed to be using funds to house girls on their way out of prison, he attempted to extort the jail in exchange for rent money. The documents also show Long Creek fired him because of this. But in that same report, there is a contract Palomino signed before staying at the house designed for girls, known as the Steps House. The contract is titled Guidance for Long Creek Steps House Usage for After-Shift Housing. Another part of the contract says, quote, the property is there to allow you to perform your duties and work in a professional, well-rested manner. It is provided so you could get ample rest before returning to work.
So I just think it's absolutely ludicrous that Department of Corrections thinks they can house staff in a corrections facility.
Representative Grayson Lookner of Portland calls the usage of the Steps House for employees a misuse of funds.
So the fact that it's being used for employees just highlights that, you know, there's a lot of mismanagement at the Department of Corrections.
In the contract to Christian Palomino, it never stated the housing is supposed to be for girls, contrary to publicly available information.
They've never disclosed past history. Somebody that saw the girls in the residence, like in the jail cells, there were some in there that could much have easily been in this housing.
In Palomino's file, it's noted at least 2 other employees were also staying at the Steps House.
There were other staff members that slept there during my time. People were being forced to work 16-hour shifts.
In an email to News Center Maine, the Maine Department of Corrections spokeswoman Anna Black confirmed that no juveniles were staying at the Steps House and said that no staff are currently residing at the Steps House. We asked them to clarify why they decided to let employees stay at a state-funded house designed to help house girls outside of a prison cell. They did not reply.
I was in Long Creek on and off a lot during my childhood.
And for women formerly incarcerated at Long Creek, the alleged misuse of the facility is not surprising.
So as the staffing decreases, that means there's not a lot of opportunity for them to get the help that they need. Being overworked and overtired, how can you watch some other person, another human being, when you can't even look out for yourself because you're so exhausted?
And keep in mind, this is all happening as Long Creek documents say it has allocated more than $2 million to have this program for incarcerated girls. Those same public documents say this center is working to build another housing unit similar to the Steps House, but make it for boys at an additional $2 million bill. We also asked Long Creek officials about their staffing issues, and they told us they have 30 open positions at the center to work with the 27 kids currently there. Pat?
Jack Molman, thanks very much.